and thank you for being with us here at 12. We want to get back now to Luigi Mangione, the Maryland man accused of gunning down the CEO of a health insurance company. Mangione has pleaded guilty today within the past hour to federal charges, but a lot of questions remain about the future of the state case against him. What happens next? And joining us now to sort through this is Neama Rahmani, former federal prosecutor, friend of the show. Neama, always great to have you with us, and we'll just jump right into it. How does this change things for Mangione?
Megan, thanks for having me as always. So normally, parallel state and federal prosecutions do not violate the Double Jeopardy Clause of the Constitution. A recent case was Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd, or you can go back to the officers that beat Rodney King here in Los Angeles, where I am. But New York is unique. They have a very specific state law that says that a second New York case can't be based on the same transaction or occurrence as a previous case. So those are the magic words. So here you have federal stalking charges and you have state murder charges. The defense is going to argue, and they're already filing their motion apparently, that it's all part and parcel of the same transaction or occurrence. So if so, today's guilty plea in federal court may completely undermine and torpedo the state murder case.
In your opinion, do you think that this means Mangione won't go to trial for murder?
It's very possible, and there's precedent for this. Paul Manafort, who was President Trump's campaign manager, was prosecuted in federal court in Virginia. And there was a concern that Trump would pardon him. So the former Manhattan District Attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr., filed state charges after the fact. And a young attorney named Todd Blanche represented Manafort and got those state charges dismissed based on the same double jeopardy law. So it's a very real possibility if, again, the defense team of Friedman and Agnifilo, who are fantastic, can convince that state judge that this is all part of the same transaction or occurrence.
Very interesting, because obviously the charges in the two cases are different. To pull on your expertise here, is this the strongest legal strategy you think Mangione's attorneys could have taken?
No question. They're running circles around the prosecution, and especially the federal case. There are a lot of questions that I have and other legal analysts. This may go down as a completely botched prosecution because it wasn't necessary. They filed in federal court to try to get the death penalty because New York State doesn't have the death penalty. Well, that didn't work. That was dismissed. They filed federal murder charges. Those were dismissed. They filed federal firearms charges. Those were dismissed. So what was left was really a gutted case with just 2 stalking counts. And I understand that stalking causing death carries the potential sentence of life in prison. But what the feds should have done is dismiss their case, let the state go first. Now they may undermine that murder case completely.
Wow, I was about to ask, what federal prosecutors necessarily get out of this now, or what was the benefit to them in this deal?
It's really a head scratcher, and there was no plea deal. Mangione just pleaded guilty to the indictment, the 2 counts. Again, there were so few charges left that they thought that, look, maybe by pleading guilty, we get 2 benefits. First, if we do any time, most defendants want to serve time in the federal prison system. It's a lot nicer than most state courts. That's one. But 2, they thought that they have a good argument on this double jeopardy law in New York. And by pleading guilty and getting that first conviction out of the way, that they might be able to dismiss the state murder case entirely. And if that happens, the DOJ will have a lot of egg on their face.
Yeah, and apologies, I should have said the guilty plea there, not a deal. What should we be watching for next as far as state action in this state case? What do you think we will see there from prosecutors in New York?
Well, Megan, there's currently a September 8th trial date. I think that's likely going to get moved. We'll see the defense file their motion to dismiss based on double jeopardy grounds. The Manhattan DA, of course, will absolutely oppose it. There'll be a reply. There'll be oral argument. I don't think it can all get done for a dispositive motion like this. There's got to be a record, because even if the judge denies the motion, this will absolutely be an issue on appeal. So what we're likely going to see is some litigation in the courtroom and potentially that trial date getting pushed back maybe a month or 2.
Okay, we will be watching. We know you will too, as always. Neama Rahmani, former federal prosecutor, always great to have you with us to share your expertise here, especially in this case.